8bitjoystick. Alright, I just got a delivery of the RetroBit Origin8 Wireless Controller. I actually ordered 2 of these. I've had previous RetroBit products in the past, and they came out with a new wireless controller for NES, Switch, and USB, and I love the fact that it had 2.4 connectivity and not Bluetooth. I purchased these with my own money. I actually got to see these at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. I didn't buy them then because I already pre-ordered them, so now my pre-orders are finally here. Against the original Nintendo NES gamepad, wired, the 8bitdo N30 2.4G wireless gamepad, which is my current go-to NES compatible gamepad. Initial impressions, it's rounded, so the D-pad, so here it is compared to an NES controller. The D-pad has a circle in the middle. The original one has the arrows. It does not have the arrows. The start and select are rubber. Start and select are rubber. B and A. And it has L and R and LZ and 2Z and USB chargeables via USB-C. So it's a little mushier compared to the original Nintendo membrane, but it doesn't feel bad. So the 8bitdo, here it is compared to the 8bitdo. The 8bitdo has arrows, the RetroBit does not. The 8bitdo has a home button and is not particularly designed for Switch compatibility. The RetroBit clearly is designed for Switch compatibility. It's got Switch buttons, select, and on the top. So this thing is going to work great with the Nintendo Switch. Probably much better than the 8bitdo. A dongle for USB and a dongle for NES. So I'm going to first try it out on my Retro USB AVS. All right. So here is the RetroBit Origin 8 controller in player 1. And then I got my 8bitdo N30 2.4G on player 2. And I have this plugged into my Retro USB AVS. So it ends up to do the initial pairing, all you do is you hold the button down and the start button, or any buttons, for a couple of minutes, and it started flashing, which is great, and it paired. So you have an indicator down here that is paired, and there's a very slight light, and I actually really like that. Excellent. No lag whatsoever on either controller. Feels great. I would have liked some arrow buttons, but the control pad is like 90% there. I like the slightly round... Oh, shoot, I wasn't paying attention. As I was saying, I like the slightly rounded buttons, or the slightly rounded edges on the controller. The 8bitdo has a very OG Nintendo appearance. Oh, geez. And top of the flagpole. Some kaketa, probably mispronouncing it. Mario Brothers returns. Press, 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 press. Feels great. Let's try some track and field. "12 seconds and 25 and 43. It's probably just... Oh, shoot. Long jump. Let's try this out. Okay, foul. The moral of the story is I'm not good at this game. Get down. All right, trying out some Mr. Gimmick. Or some gimmick. I'm just going to ignore the cat. Nice. First try. So the reason why I'm not saying much of anything is I'm trying to concentrate on not sucking at gimmick. But I'm not feeling any... Yeah, that's my fault. Alright, Aburebo Tengu. Turbo Fire working great. By the way, this thing was only $25, so it's a great price. So I got a second one because I have enough Nintendo compatible systems. I wanted to get a Game Boy themed one. The NES themed, the Game Boy themed. By the way, turbo switches. So the RetroBit has turbo switches above the A and B. The 8BitDo has separate buttons, turbo buttons. So I actually prefer the idea of having turbo switches. All right, here is the RetroBit Origin 8, and I have it connected to my Nintendo Switch Lite. I had to use a USB adapter. So there's a USB dongle, and I had to use a C adapter. And after I paired it, worked great. So got AB. This is ridiculous, but it works. All right, the Origin8 Wireless Controller by RetroBit. So, what I like about it, it's roughly the same size as an NES controller. It has rounded edges. It's good if you want a little bit more of an ergonomic. It's not quite a dog bone, but it's not quite the flat brick. If you want the flat brick, go for an 8BitDo or the original one. I really liked the fact that this was Switch compatible, charges via USB-C. 8BitDo charges via USB-B. This had an adapter to work with USB-C, which makes it Switch compatible. Very compatible with Switch. It's got top buttons, has turbo switches to instead of having 4 buttons. So yeah, this is great. I'm going to, of course, use both controllers. I love my 8BitDo, but I'm really glad that I also picked up the RetroBits. I like the original NES type design, and also got the Game Boy themed design. This is actually a really good bargain for $25. I mean, 8BitDo wireless controllers, the Origin 8, pretty darn good value for $25. This is 8-Bit Joystick. Stay awesome. Play retro.